Hello, poopsies. So today I am going to be doing a cinnamon reading. What's a cinnamon reading? You might have seen this in one of my videos prior. I basically light the tip, the cinnamon stick, and it'll produce ash, and I write on blank pages just patterns that intuitively draw me in, and then I read the patterns on the paper. So I am a psychic intuitive. I do prediction readings like tarot readings, coffee cup readings, and candle wax readings. You can book your own on TonyBomboni.com, and if you book a 30-minute or longer, I will shout out your first name in the beginning intro of one of my ASMR videos as a thank you, as a thanks for helping fund and support this channel by booking one 30-minute session today. You help fund and support this channel for an entire day, so it's a big help. So I do thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I just absolutely love the smell of cinnamon. It just smells divine. I'm going to start just lighting the tip of one that draws me in. And it's also a cleansing tool. Cleanse the energies of the air in and around us. So once it turns off, I just clear the air and I thank the universe, God and Spirit, for allowing me to work with this. I'm just closing my eyes and drawing patterns that draw me in. You actually don't have to close your eyes for this one because I realize I'm going to get this sheet stained and I don't want to do that. So, but just whatever draws me in. So that's the pattern for today. So we're going to read the pattern. Some of you trying to get in shape, like that hourglass figure, but you're comparing yourself to someone that's a different body size or type than you. So you think like, oh, I'm making more progress than them and I'm doing it better than them, but in fact it's different, right? 200 pounds when you're 6'4" is different than 200 pounds when you're 5'5". So, especially considering how much muscle and how much fat they have. So don't compare yourself to anyone but your past self, okay? You're doing yourself a disservice and a disgrace. Okay? So I feel like you're pressuring yourself for no reason to get that figure where you already have the figure you're looking for. And you don't see it because you only see through the eyes of yourself. But if someone else gives you an opinion, you still don't see it because you think that's just their opinion. You can only see yourself for who you are now. And that's the hard reality. So yeah, I see a lot of like these curves you're trying to build in the front or like the back, behind. And it's like there's a letter P here. So could be someone with a first or last name or both with the letter P in their name. And then there's an and symbol. It's like and there's someone else you're with. That could be like P and E. I'm also getting, P and E. So it's like Emily and whoever else is, or Amelia and whoever else is with their name P, right? Could also be first last name, like starts with the letter P, then ends with E, starts with E, ends with P, whatever. So maybe it could be like a group project you're working on with someone at like this fitness or maybe you're teaming up with your partner and saying, hey, let's do this, let's make this work. Let's build something together. So I'm going to turn this a separate way because I have to turn it. It looks like a work of art, doesn't it, at a museum? Like I'm just interpreting a work of art. There's someone you're not completely over yet. Some ex you're thinking about still to this day in your future. It feels sort of like you haven't been left alone enough time to even resolve or heal through this issue. It always feels like someone's trying to interfere in your space, your energy. There's also a T here. It feels like someone by the name of T. It gives like, it could be either gender energy, but they've been trying to interfere between you and your ex as well. And maybe that's what caused things to be disrupted or end. They wanted things to be over with you so they could get back with them. There's a forest, like there's disharmony somewhere. I see like trees being burned or cut down or something. There's a disharmony in nature at the moment. An imbalance. I see also a roadway with like potholes. Be careful over like certain roadways that start to get deteriorated or diminished. There's also like Arabic letter here. It's like something with a foreign nation that you go to, and maybe you'll have to like make sure that passport is in check because they might not like your passport. Something about your passport is not, make sure it's not water damaged, ripped, something suspicious. Even a scratch over it that's big enough will be kind of deemed not enough, and then you struggle to enter the country. Okay. There's a lot of breakage, though, a lot of interruption in your life. So it's like you're watching TV and then it all of a sudden goes and snowy. It's like disconnect. There's a disconnect to people, to others. You're not really flowing, and that's not your fault. I think it gets the energies, but it's also you're going through a lot. You're going through an immersive experience in life right now. You're going through a lot of changes, and it's no fault of your own. Okay. So let's see what else we see. Okay. So there's confusion and blindness, blindly following something, blindly following orders. Follow your heart, not a blind order. Okay. There's a message here for you of patience. Maybe something you're lacking right now to get through a difficult time. I would say there's still something that could blossom with someone that you haven't given them a chance. They're coming back from your past to reach out and communicate with you again. And they're going to try to make things work this time. And I think they will. Don't bring up old subjects anymore, especially with someone you've brought up old subjects that are dead and long gone. It doesn't serve any of you. Only aggravation and tension. You're in a soft, mellow phase in your life right now. You're just kind of flowing with the changes, and that's a beautiful thing. There's disharmony between you and one person you care deeply for, and you don't want things to end, but you feel like it has to. Only you know the answer. Also, a lot of you are outgrowing old things, so make sure you don't keep doing things that you used to do that don't match or resonate with the new you any longer. This also looks like where you buy and shop changes. So you're changing where you put your resources into and what you invest into for yourself, okay? You realize the power it holds to invest in you. So I feel like That's crucial to know. Birds of a feather flock together, and you're not flocking with anyone now but your own feather, your own crowd. That's you. You're the crowd. So maybe there's like no one to go to that concert with you, or you're scared to go alone. And that's fine. That's fine. There's really no message there for you. It just is what it is. So I'm going to light 2 sticks now at once and see where it takes you. And give it a little bit of a more burn. Okay. Thank you. Clearing the energy of any past sessions. What are the messages for you? Getting here. Disagreement, not seeing eye to eye on a subject. Lopsided viewpoints. Some are interchangeable, meaning you can adjust if someone says, I just don't agree with you on where we're getting ice cream tonight. But a lot of it's deeper subjects where you just have a firm grasp and stance on, and that is not going to be negotiable. This could mean with contracts, and you just stay where you are. You have a firm stance on, let's say, that prenup or whatever. And this person on the other end wants to do something different in their life. They're open to change. That you've already made them automatically open to changing, and you're not changing. So is this wall between you guys, and it's still working, but it's not working long term, right? It's a very short term energy. You both are good for each other in the short, not the long. And it depends how far you're willing to take things before you just lose it and you just say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Be free right now. Flow. Do not restrict yourself to one person, one thing, one place. Allow yourself to free yourself. It's okay to sometimes look at other people and say, I wonder what would happen if I went down that route, that path. Did what they're doing for a career. Maybe engage with them instead of my partner, right? It's okay. It's okay. You're just looking. You're not doing anything. We have the right to look. We have the right to think for ourselves. So, in a sense, you're trapped in your own freedom. You're trapped in your own freedom right now. Okay? And you see this is almost like a head here, a woman's hair, and it's like just her kimono or something, and I don't know, this looks like some baby or something here, like a crib. And I feel like this is the ultimate expression of, it really does feel like I'm interpreting a museum artwork piece. But it feels like you are sort of babying something or carrying around a weight of something, a burden that you're not meant to carry. You're meant to be free. And you're maybe using that as an excuse or to hold you back, like, I'm only staying because of this thing, because I have a baby. You know that baby can travel with you, right? You know, so I feel like that's no excuse, although it's a valid excuse. Let me not just eject that, but right off the bat, I see that that's not going to limit you or restrict your freedom to move. So you're in movement now, and you're not meant to stay still. in stillness and quiet. Sometimes you're not even meant to stay in serenity or peace. So many of us go after peace and happiness. We forget the bigger picture. Even that's not the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? Okay. Maybe it's growth. Maybe it's alignment with where you're at different times of your life, because you're not going to be aligned now where you're going to be aligned in 15, 20 years. That's not going to be maybe making sense at that point. You're going to even forget what aligned with your values at that time in your life. So I'm seeing a beautiful process of sadness too. There's sadness unfolding here. And realizing that you're mourning the old you. And you're scared to let him or her go. You're afraid of what that new life will look like. And the consequence of this changes. There's someone with the name starting with V. All right, I see a V here. Someone's trying to influence you, and I don't like this energy. It's very interfering. Goes to be an A in their name. There's like a pot or something, like those things you cook like potatoes and chicken in, like that container is like you're holding on to something. There's anger, there's aggression, there's grief. There's already suffering, a loss here. Maybe someone has passed on that recently that you still haven't gotten over. So before you jump into that relationship, get over that grief. Like, that's not good. That's just not gonna solve anything. That's gonna carry with you if you're not over that. If you're not ready for something more, tell them. There's irony here too in the situation, because they too are also not ready. They're not ready to face that they're not ready, and you made them realize they're not ready either. When we're in fear, a lot of times we give people a reason to be afraid as well. So that's why they say not to be around that energy, too much. There's like a big egg here. You see that egg? See that big egg right here? This egg. And there's something like trying to break it. Something trying to divide it. What you hold dear. But it's so sensitive, if egg is so fragile. This looks even like a jelly bean. It's so fragile. It doesn't even have an exterior shell. You haven't built your exterior shell surrounding this subject. You're holding it in, though. You're holding all these thoughts, feelings, emotions inside of you, and you have yet to release and let them go. There's a lot of feminine energy in this reading. There's even a couple eggs here. There's like one here. There's one here. If you really look at it, there's one here. So it's like there's all these different parts of you that make you the whole construct of who you are. But you're split-minded right now. You're indecision energy, in this indecisive energy right now. And so what is it that you're going to do to expel that from your aura? Someone is definitely on your mind, this A person. And then there's like a fish here. It's like something's fishy with this energy. There's too much interference, too much chaotic energy right now. Will it ever relax? Will it ever calm down? You're in grief. You are clearly in sorrow here. But you're happy that this is happening because you know it's all just a divine lesson. So this is the experience you are witnessing right now. That's just where you're at in life at the moment. So let's see one more general outcome message. I'm going to do now 3 cinnamon sticks to finish off. 3. Let's burn all 3. here's your final message for you. So I'm getting a detailed, organized, laid out plan. Very linear. There's some skepticism behind this, though. Maybe you have a project you worked on, and the teacher, the instructor, the boss, the lawyer, whoever, is very skeptical of what you put into it. They think it's copyrighted, they think it's fraud, they think it's just that, like, cheat. You cheated on the assignment, like it's almost too good to be true. They don't believe you put in the work here. So they're critical of you, they're skeptical. Maybe they think you lied to them in their face, and there's disbelief, and it's very antagonizing. And this person really ultimately only thinks linearly. So if it's not what you usually put out into your work and your assignment, they're not going to buy it until they get verification that this is authentic. So there could be some extra, maybe like, you're trying to get into your account and this looks like there's extra, like, I'm not a robot and two-factor authentication and you need this passkey and this security key, and then it's like you still can't get into your accounts. There's like it's just something, just an annoyance or interference, and it could give an issue. So make sure you log into those accounts you haven't in a long time, and make sure that you're still good, or you remember the password, because if that browser goes under, this could give you issues. Okay, especially if it has to do with money, a bank. Like, make sure you're not just locked out of your account, you remember your personal info. Okay, all right. This includes important documentation, things of that nature. So this also gives to me this, like, Year of the Dragon vibe. It's just, overall, it's going to be a kind of chaotic, hectic spin of a ride type of energy here. It's going to be hard to stay grounded, to remain grounded, because it's such an air creature. And the air sign energy always usually tends to be changing things up and switching things up and reorganizing, rearranging things quickly. So it's already in the works for you, even though you may not feel it yet. So don't expect also the same people you know now to be in your future in 5 years. Don't expect what you think the future will look like be happening, because it's going to be very different, and there's a lot of different souls out there waiting to meet you still. You're about halfway through, time is up, something like that. You don't have much time. This could look like studying. Maybe you need to make plans to make sure that you remember to focus on that project or assignment and work on it, study it up, because I see a very angry teacher that does not appreciate procrastination. They don't tolerate a lack of labor in what they are assigned to do. They see it as a sign of disrespect, so they will get agitated. There's some really thinking hard about what they believe in and not really allowing it to change or affect their life or influence them in any way, but it still bothers you a little bit. Some of you are thinking of changing that up a bit, changing how you view the world and yourself. It happens bit by bit, though. Keyword bit by bit. Some of you are survivors of a certain type of health, and basically it's you survived a health issue that was major, and You're always divinely protected through Spirit, God, Universe. Some of you don't know how to go about telling someone off the right way. Putting it kindly to where you don't seem or come across as a jerk flat out. But there's this agitation and this angry energy. And you can't help but feel that. Some of you want to directly throw darts. I don't know if that's a good idea. Okay, especially since this person's helped you through a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't necessarily face it in that manner. But do what you will. It's just the suggestion. That's not necessarily the best for the long run. There's a very robust fiery energy here. Just misunderstandings, like someone blames someone for something and then it ends up totally off. Not really necessarily the right kind of blame. There's like ink on a quill here, and you want to write your thoughts out, but you don't know how to express or communicate. Again, it's a very like Mercury retrograde energy, like not clear, not very in alignment. Your spirits are coming through, your ancestors, your guides, and mostly your guides and your spirits. So they're some of them are very happy here. There's like a person with like the letter W, but like William or something, who knows what. Wayne, whatever. Okay. Yeah, whatever. W for whatever. But also it's like, why bother knowing? Why bother trying to figure out what you can't determine yet? Let it go. You don't necessarily have to have a map or a key for everything in life. Let the unknowns surprise you. Some of you really have tangled yourself in quite a web that's complex. Remember who put you there. At the end of the day, we put ourselves. A lot of times, I'm not saying always, a lot of times we put ourselves there. Some of you couldn't have helped it, but now how can you help yourself out of it, right? This is your journey and your path to do that. Okay. So, let's give some final thoughts and messages here. Things will make sense. Things will be in more like straight order rather than like a confined mess. And you'll organize your thoughts and pull yourself together at least enough to appear presentable. Sorry, my camera cut off. I don't know when, but basically you're putting yourself together in an order and organized way. Even though your life is maybe not that way, you feel like it's messy, you're still going to pull yourself together enough to come across that way and pretend like everything's all right. So how also I see life is how you make of it, not what it actually is. So you're able to kind of remain composed and calm through the messy process, and then the mess clears. The more you stay focused and centered on yourself, this will be powerful energy to propel you forward into a better life and a better future for you and others around you. Final thoughts. Yeah, it's almost like you remain grounded through all this chaos. You'll remain unmoved, immovable, and you'll choose you. You'll choose what makes you happy, and that's you. And you still circle back some things from time to time in your mind, but overall you will have moved on. And that will help you get out of this mind clutter you feel like you're in sometimes. Okay. So thank you for allowing me to channel for you your divinely guided messages using cinnamon. That was my first cinnamon reading I ever did. That was fascinating, to say the least. So thank you for that. And again, if you'd like to book your own services from me, you can go on TonyBomboni.com. Honestly, you know what I'm able to do? If you book a 15-minute prediction reading or a 15-minute custom ASMR video, you can always say, Tony, I want a cinnamon reading, or Tony, I want a crystal reading. I can lay out crystals and read them. Like anything, I'm okay with that, you know? So I'm offering a bonus 5 minutes So all week long, anytime you book a service from me, you get bonus 5 minutes in your session, absolutely free. So don't miss out, and I'll shout your first name out if you book a 30-minute or longer with me as a thank you. Okay, poopsies, I love you all so much. Links below to TonyBomboni.com, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye, take care.